Hi everyone, I'm excited to be joining the Studio Katia design team. I'm starting off with a couple of mini slimline cards. These are so super sweet. They feature a gorgeous 6x8 stamp set called Peony Trimmings. There are two different floral designs which are going to be colored in Faber-Castell colored pencils. The images were stamped in a light gray ink on cream-colored cardstock. When coloring flowers, I always deconstruct them and work one petal at a time. All of the peonies will be colored with red violet and pink madder lake and a little bit of white just on the petal's edge to provide a nice highlight. When applying the color, I work in small, tight, circular motions. The color will be applied about 3 times, and each application of red violet, which is the dark tone, and the pink madder, I will slightly overlap them to get a nice blend. The top of the petals will be finished off in white. After a couple of layers of color have been applied in those circular motions, I'll finish off with the final layer using flicking motions to create a little bit of texture. And then it's just a matter of repeating the process for each one of the petals. Working with colored pencils for me is the most time-consuming medium. Having said that, I also find it the most relaxing. A little bit of music or the TV in the background and I'm off. And when all the coloring is complete, I'm going to fussy cut them, just leaving a small border edge around the design. The scalloped frame from Mini Slimline Set 1 has been die cut from black cardstock for one card and cream for the other. After the scalloped edge has been masked off with Post-it note tape, using the stencil brushstroke waves, Versamark will be applied to the background. And to hold everything in place, I'm just using a little bit of low-tack tape. To keep the design nice and crisp, the ink is applied in an up and down motion. After gold embossing powder is applied, then I use my heat tool, which has been preheated, to make sure that it comes to maximum temperature before applying it to the panel. The heat is applied to both the front and the back to minimize warping. For the cream-colored panel, before heating it, I did go along the scalloped edge with a watercolor brush to clean up any stray embossing powder. I knew that I was going to be mounting these backgrounds on black card bases, and so for this particular panel, it needed to stand out. So I used Post-it note tape and then worked my way around the perimeter, embossing that scalloped edge. This scalloped rectangular die cut has a dot detail, making it very easy to line up the Post-it note tape consistently around all 4 sides. To sharpen the contrast between the peonies and the background, they were mounted on black cardstock. They were fussy cut again, leaving a very thin reveal. Although Peony Trimmings comes with lots of sentiments, they were just slightly too big for these mini slimline cards. The Mini Slimline Set 1 die set also comes with some sentiment dies with flag ends. This was used to cut vellum paper. The sentiments from Mini Sending Greetings were the perfect size. They were stamped on the vellum strips with Versamark ink and then embossed in gold. Everything is ready to pull these cards together. The card bases measure 3 inches by 6 inches, perfect for mini slimline envelopes. The card fronts are adhered directly to the card bases. I love dimension on cards, and I'm using Studio Katia's foam roll on the back of each of the floral designs to pop them up on the card fronts. The cards are going to be embellished with some beautiful cafe au lait pearls. The pearls will also be used on the sentiment so that I can adhere the vellum without the glue showing through. The sentiment is temporarily put in place so that I can determine exactly where each of the pearls are going to go. A small dot of glue with Studio Katia glue is added and the pearls put in place. And when it is set, then I flip the sentiment over and add the glue to the back of the pearls, and then the sentiment can be adhered to the front of the card. This is a great way for adhering vellum to a card without any of the messy glue showing through. Cards are finished up with the cafe au lait pearls added in and around the flowers. Pearls are absolutely gorgeous. As the name suggests, they are a coffee color, but they have a sheen on them which picks up both the cream and the pink from the peonies. And that wraps up the sweet set of mini slimline cards featuring Studio Katia's gorgeous peony trimmings. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate your visit.